Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. To a game that doesn't have controller support. Fuck. This is the most cursed, most cringiest, least controller supported corner of the internet. YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone, both the analog and digital world, and also yelling at a computer. The fuck is this? How do I just play the game? Welcome, good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Story of my life, though. How do I play the game? Play game. We'll hang out in Taiwan, I guess, right? How do I... Here? Okay, I'm gonna go hang out with people in Taiwan. I don't know how to play the game, though. Okay, WASD keys, move. Can I have this off the... Okay, so arrow, that's also... So I'll use the trackpad. There's no sound. Let's turn. How do I jump? Can't read that. Not even sure what. I assume Taiwanese. Is that a language? What? Why am I? Did I freeze to death? Did I shoot myself? I don't know what has occurred here. Is there a way to reset? Okay. Space. Does shift do anything? Shift lets me pick all of these emojis. Yeah. I think the only things that do anything is clicking. I have a grappling hook. But again, this is probably meant to be played with a mouse. I have a mouse somewhere, I just don't want to plug it in. So I'm meant to... Okay, can I not start on the expert difficulty world? Let's just watch other people. Okay, hi. Sleepy dude. Hello. Okay, we'll just exit, disconnect. I'm gonna go hang out with people in Korea now. ASI, I don't even know. Asia? But why is China and Asian? Oh, there's some place in the tutorial. I already picked this place though. We are hanging out in Korea now. Okay, it's... Okay. Difficulty, 4 out of 5 stars. How is that novice? Hi. I refuse to plug in. Like, in general, the premise of this game doesn't seem awful. It's just the fact that there's no controller support. Well, there are map tutorials. Okay, I assume that's Germany. We will hang out in Germany. How did I... Okay, so T is talk. What? I don't understand. Okay, K is a reset button. Okay, that might be better. It's weird to use a trackpad. Let me try the controller again. Nope. Why would you design a game that doesn't use the controller? I can't use a game that doesn't use the controller. We're just gonna close this. Library. Uninstall the game. You know what, let's reinstall Thumper. Go back to library. Ow, my ears. Haven't played Thumper in a while. Be nice if there was some sort of update to it. Why is it sized this way? It's so fucking loud! Dear God! Okay, minimum volume. For fuck's sakes. Think that's... Nope, that's not how... Right, you guys can't see anything. Well, let me fix the resolution first. How do I... There. Is that... What? I broke it! What the fuck happened? What? I broke it? For fuck's sakes. Now Thumper can't be played. Because I broke the settings. So we'll just click stop. Confirm. Wait for Steam to, just sort of deal with me being a failure. Just uninstall that. Everyone's like, it's a black screen. Like, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Just me breaking fucking everything. You know what? Looking up, I see only a ceiling. Relaunch that. It's so loud again. Let's go to Windows. Technically I've played this before. But at least now I know how to do the whole... I'm just going to show off the Easter egg, but if you want to actually see the full game, just search the name of this game on... Right, that doesn't work with the controller, but it's fine because it's not a platformer. Also, given the context of what's actually happening in this story, it's actually a lot darker than what you would expect. But that has something to do with the bathtub. Because we're drowning. Then again, you can see that here. Like I said, I've played this game before. I'll just turn that off. I really don't know what game to do. Everyone's like, this is so unprofessional. I'm like, welcome! Welcome to the channel! If you had to say that, then that means this is the first video of mine that you've ever seen. I haven't played Killer Instinct in forever. Oh my god, it's 42 gigabytes. Oh my fuck. Now we sit here as I load the 42 gigabyte thing that I barely have room for on my computer. We have 100 megabytes downloaded out of what now says 28. I don't know. It's like, so what are we going to do in the meantime? I don't know. You know, I read some grim fairy tales back a week ago or something. I'm sure there's some stories I didn't get around to reading, because technically I read the one out of the one illustrated one with Arthur Rackham's illustrations in it. But I had another book that I think I read Bluebeard or something out of it. Or I don't know. Go get that. It's going to be a while before this downloads. So what stories are there that I can actually... The Elfin Grove. Doesn't give me page numbers. Because fuck you, I guess. Fuck you, fuck me. Okay, the Elfin Grove. The Elfin Grove. I hope, said a woodman one day to his wife, that the children will not run into that fir grove by the side of the river. Who they are that have come to live there I cannot tell, but I'm sure it looks more dark and gloomy than ever, and some queer-looking beings are to be seen lurking about it every night, as I am told. The woodman could not say that they brought any ill luck as yet, whatever they were, for all the village had thriven, more than ever since they came. The fields looked grayer and greener, and even the sky was a deeper blue. Not knowing what to say of them, the farmer very wisely let his new friends alone, and in truth troubled his head very little about them. That very evening, little Mary and her playfellow Martin were playing hide-and-seek in the valley. "Where can he hide?" said she. "He must have gone to the fair grove." And down she ran to look. Just then she spied a little dog that jumped around her and wagged his tail, and led her on towards the woods. Then he ran into it, and she soon jumped up to the bank to look after him, but was overjoyed inside. Instead of a gloomy grove and firs, a delightful garden where flowers and shrubs of every kind grew upon turf of the softest green. Gay butterflies flew about her. The birds sang sweetly, and, what was strangest, the prettiest little children sported about on all sides, some twining the flowers and others dancing in rings upon the shady spots beneath the tree. In the midst, instead of the hovels of which Mary had heard, there was a palace that dazzled her eyes with its brightness. For a while she gazed on the fairy scene around her, till at last one of the little dancers ran up to her and said, "And you are come at last to see us? We have often seen you play about, and wished to have you with us." Then she plucked some of the fruit that grew near, and Mary at the first taste forgot her home, and wished only to see and know more of her fairy friends. Then they led her about with them, and showed her all their sports. One while they danced by the moonlight on the primrose banks. At another time they skipped from bough to bough among the trees that hung over the cooling streams, for they moved as lightly and easily through the air as one would on the ground. And Mary went with them everywhere, for they bore her in their arms. What is this, Tarzan? Wherever they wished to go. Sometimes they would throw seeds on the turf, and directly little trees sprang up, and then they would set their feet upon the branches, while the trees grew under them, till they danced upon the boughs in the air. We are at 5.86 gigs out of 28.35. And directly little trees sprang up. Then they would, I already read this. Whenever the breezes carried them. Just made me think of the Black Sabbath song, Snowblind. And again the trees would sink down to the earth, and land them safely at their bidding. At other times they would go and visit the palace of their queen, and there the richest food was spread before them, and the softest music was heard, and there all grew the flowers, which were always changing their hues, from scarlet to purple and yellow to emerald. And sometimes they went to look at the heaps of treasures which were piled up in the royal stores, for little dwarfs were always employed in searching the earth for gold. Small as this fairyland looked from without, it seemed within to have no end. A mist hung around it to shield from the eyes of men, and some of these little elves sat perched upon the outermost tree, to keep watch lest the step of man should break in and spoil the charm. "And who are you?" said Mary one day. "We are the called elves in your world," said one whose name was Gossamer, and who had become her dearest friend. "We are told you talk a great deal about us. Some of our tribes like to work you mischief, But we who live here seek only to be happy. We meddle little with mankind, but when we do come among them, it is to do them good. And where is your queen? Said Mary. Hush, hush, you cannot see or know her. You must leave us before she comes back, which will be very soon now, for mortal step cannot come where she is. But you will know that she is here when you see the meadows gayer, and the rivers more sparkling, and the sun brighter. Soon afterward, Gossamer told Mary the time was come to bid her farewell, and gave her a ring in token of their friendship, and led her to the edge of the grove. Think of me, said she, but beware how you tell what you have seen, or try to visit any of us again, for if you do, we shall quit this grove and come back no more. Turning back, Mary saw nothing but the gloomy fair grove she had known before. How frightened my father and mother will be, thought she as she looked at the sun, which had risen some time ago. They will wonder where I have been all night, and yet I must not tell them what I have seen. She hastened homewards, wondering, however, as she went, to see that the leaves, which were yesterday so fresh and green, were now falling dry and yellow around her. The cottage, too, seemed changed. Oh, were you gone for seasons? And when she went in, there sat her father, looking some years older than when she saw him last, and her mother, whom she hardly knew, was by his side. Close by was a young man. Father, said Mary, who is this? Who are you that call me father? said he. Are you? No, you cannot be. Our long-lost Mary? But they soon saw that it was their Mary, and the young man, who was her old friend and playfellow Martin, said, No wonder you had forgotten me in 7 years. Do you not remember how we parted 7 years ago while playing in the field? We thought you were quite lost. We were glad to see that someone has taken care of you and brought you home at last. Mary said nothing, for she could not tell all, but she wondered at the strange tale and felt gloomy at the change from fairyland to her father's cottage. Little by little she came to herself, thought of her story as a mere dream, and soon became Martin's But everything seemed to thrive around them, and Mary called her first little girl Elfie, in memory of her friends. The little thing was loved by everyone. It was pretty and very good-tempered. Mary thought it was very like a little elf, and all without knowing why, called it the fairy child. One day, while Mary was dressing her little Elfie, she found a piece of gold hanging around her neck by a silken thread, and knew it to be of the same sort that she had seen in the lands of the fairy dwarfs. Elfie seemed sorry at its being seen, and said that she had found it in the garden. But Mary watched her, and soon found out that she went every afternoon to sit by herself in a shadowy place behind the house. So one day she hid herself to see what the child did there. And to her great wonder, Gossamer was sitting by her side. Dear Elfie, she was saying, your mother and I used to sit thus when she was young and lived among us. Oh, if you could but come and do so, but our queen came to us. It cannot be. Yet I will come and see you and talk to you whilst you are a child. When you grow up, we must part forever. Then she plucked one of the roses that grew around them, and breathed gently upon it, and said, Take this for my sake. It will keep its freshness a whole year. Then Mary loved her little Elfie more than ever, and when she found that she spent some hours of almost every day with the elf, she used to hide herself and watch them without being seen. Till one day Gossamer was bearing her little friend through the air from tree to tree. Her mother was so frightened lest her child should fall that she could not help screaming out, and Gossamer set her gently on the ground and seemed angry, and flew away. Why? But still she used sometimes to come play with her little friend, and would soon have done so perhaps as same as before, had not Mary one day told her husband the whole story, for she could not bear to hear him always wondering and laughing their little child's odd ways, and saying he was sure there was something in the fair grove that brought them no good. So to show him that all she said was true, she took him to see Elfie and the fairy. But no sooner did Gossamer know that he was there, which she did in an instant, than she changed herself into a raven and flew off into the fair grove. Mary burst into tears, and so did Elfie, for she knew she should see her dear friend no more. But Martin was restless and bent upon following up his search after the fairies. So when night came, he stole away towards the grove. When it came to nothing, it was seen but the gloomy firs and the old hovels, and the thunder rolled, and the wind groaned and whistled through the trees. It seemed that all about him was angry. So he turned homewards, frightened at what he had done. Okay. In the morning, all the neighbors flocked around, asking one another what the noise and bustle of the last night could mean. And when they looked about them, the trees looked blighted, and the meadows parched, and the streams were dried up, and everything seemed troubled and sorrowful. But they all thought that somehow or other the fair grove had not near so foreboding a look as it used to have. Strange stories were told. One had heard flutterings in the air, another seen the fair grove as if it were alive, little beings that flew away from it. Each neighbor told his tale, and all wondered what could have happened, but Mary and her husband knew what was the matter, and bewailed their folly, for they foresaw that their kind neighbors, to whom they owed all their luck, were gone forever. Among the bystanders, none told a wilder story than the old ferryman, who plied across the river at the foot of the grove. He told how at midnight his boat was carried away, and how hundreds of little beings seemed to load it with treasures. How a strange piece of gold was left for him in the boat as his fare. How the air seemed full of fairy forms fluttering around. And how at last a great train passed over that seemed to be guarding their leader to the meadows of the other side, and how he had heard soft music floating around as they flew, and how the sweet voices sang as they hovered over his head. Get a drink. 10.76 gigs out of it. I guess now they're singing. Fairy queen, mortal steps are on the green. Come away, haste away, fairies guard your queen. Hither, hither, fairy queen, lest thy silvery wing be seen. O'er the sky, fly, 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 fairies guard your lady queen. O'er the sky, fly, 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 fairies guard your queen. Fairy queen, thou hast passed the treacherous sea. Now we may down and play o'er the dazed green. Lightly, lightly, fairy queen, trip it gently o'er the green. Fairies gay, trip away, round about your lady queen. Fairies gay, trip away, round about your queen. Poor Elfie mourned their loss the most, and would spend whole hours in looking upon the rose that her playfellow had given her, and singing over it in the pretty airs she had taught her. Still at length the year's charm had passed, and it began to fade. She planted the stalk in the garden, there it grew and grew until it sat under the shade of it, and think of her friend Gossamer. Okay. That was an odd story. Okay, so like I said, I had multiples of this kind of book. So there's some of these stories that are Peter the Gothard? Okay. Where is it? Oh, I'm just for this one. After that, okay. Peter the Goatherd? I don't know. In the wilds of the Hart's forest, there is a high mountain where the fairies and goblins dance by night, and where they say the great emperor Frederick Barbarossa still holds his court among the caverns. Now and then he shows himself and punishes those whom he dislikes, or gives some rich gift to the lucky wight, whom he takes it into his head to befriend. He sits on a throne of marble, with his red beard sweeping on the ground, and once or twice in a long course of years rouses himself for a while from the trance in which he is buried, but soon falls again into his former forgetfulness. Strange chances have befallen many who have stayed within the range of his court. You shall hear of one of them. A great many years ago there lived in the village at the foot of the mountain one Peter a Gothard, I assume a shepherd of goats. Every morning he drove his flock to feed upon the green spots that are here and there upon the mountainside, and in the evening he sometimes thought it too far to drive his charge home. So he used in such cases to shut it up in a spot amongst the woods, where an old ruined wall was left standing, high enough to form a fold, in which he could count his goats and rest in peace for the night. One evening he found that the prettiest goat of his flock had vanished, soon after they were driven into his fold, but was there again in the morning. Again and again he watched, and the same strange thing happened. He thought he would look still more narrowly, and soon found a cleft in the old wall, through which it seemed that his favourite made her way. Peter followed, scrambling as well as he could down the side of a rock, and wondered not a little on overtaking his goat, to find it employing itself very much at its ease in the cavern, eating corn, which kept dropping from some place above. He went to the cavern and looked about him to see where all this corn, that rattled about his ears like a hailstorm, could be coming from. But all was dark, and he could find no clue to this strange business. At last, as he stood listening, he thought he heard the neighing and stamping of horses. He listened again, it was plainly so, and after a while he was sure that the horses were feeding above him, and that the corn fell from the mangers. I'm gonna drink some water. What could these horses be, which were thus kept in a mountain, where none but the goat's foot ever trod? Peter pondered a while, but his wonder only grew greater and greater, when on a sudden a little page came forth and beckoned him to follow. He did so, and came at last to a courtyard, surrounded by an old wall. The spot seemed the bosom of the valley, and I am falling asleep while reading this. Above rose on every hand high masses of rock, wide branching trees threw their arms overhead, so that nothing but a glimmering twilight made its way through, and here on the cool, smooth-shaven turf were 12 old knights, who looked very grave and sober, but were amusing themselves of a game of ninepins. Not a word fell from their lips, but they ordered Peter by dumb signs to busy himself in setting up the pins, as they knocked them down. At first his knees trembled as he dared to snatch a stolen sidelong launch, the long beards and old-fashioned dresses of the worthy knights. Little by little, however, he grew bolder, and at last he plucked up his heart so far as to take his turn in the draught at the can, which stood beside him and sent up the smell of the richest old wine. This gave him new strength for his work, and as often as he flagged at all, he turned to the same kind friend for his help in need. Sleep at last overpowered him, and when he awoke he found himself stretched out upon the old spot where he had folded his flock. The same green turf was spread beneath, and the same tottering walls surrounded him. He rubbed his eyes, but neither dog nor goat was to be seen, and when he had looked about him, the grass seemed to be longer under his feet. The trees hung over his head, which he had either seen or before forgotten. Shaking his head, and hardly knowing whether he were in his right mind, he wound by his way among the mountain steeps, through paths where his flocks were wont to wander, but still not a goat was to be seen. Below him in the plain lay a valley where his home was, and at length he took the downward path, and set out with a heavy heart in search of his flock. The people who met him as he drew near the village were all unknown to him. They were not even dressed as his neighbors were. They all seemed as if they hardly spoke the same tongue, and when he eagerly asked after his goats, they only stared at him and stroked their chins. At last he did the same too, and what was his wonder to find that his beard had grown at least a foot long. The world, thought he now to himself, is turned over, or at any rate bewitched, and yet he knew the mountain as he turned round to gaze upon the woody heights, and he knew the houses and cottages also, with their little gardens. All of them were the same places he had always known them. He heard some children, too, call the village by its old name, as a traveler that passed by was asking his way. Again he shook his head, and went straight through the village to his own cottage, Alas, it looked sadly out of repair. In the courtyard lay an unknown child in ragged dress, by the side of a rough, toothless dog, whom he thought he ought to know, but who snarled and barked in his face when he called to him. He went in, opening in the wall where a door had once stood, but found all so dreary and empty that he staggered out all again like a drunken man, and called his wife and children loudly by their names, but no one heard, at least no one answered him. A crowd of women and children soon flocked around the long grey-bearded man, and all broke upon him at once with questions. "Who are you? Whom do you want?" It seemed to him so odd to ask other people at his own door after his wife and children, that in order to get rid of the crowd, he named the first man that came into his head. "Hans the blacksmith," said he. Most held their tongues and stared, but at last an old woman said, "He went these 7 years to a place that you will not reach today." "Frank the tailor, then. Heaven rest his soul," said an old beldame upon crutches. "He has laid these 10 years in a house that he'll never leave." Peter looked at the old woman and shuddered as he saw her to be one of his old friends, only with a strangely altered face. All wish to ask further questions was gone, but at last a young woman made her way through the gaping throng with a baby in her arms, and a little girl about 3 years old clinging to her other hand. All three looked the very image of his wife. "What is thy name?" asked he wildly. "Mary." "And your father's?" "Heaven bless him, Peter. It is now 20 years since we sought him day and night on the mountain. His flock came back, but he was never heard of any more. I was then 7 years old." The Gothard could hold no longer. "I am Peter," cried he. "I am Peter, and no other." As he took the child from his daughter's arms and kissed it, all stood gaping and not knowing what to say or think, till at length one voice was heard. "Why, it is Peter!" And then several others cried, "Yes, it is Peter. Welcome, neighbor. Welcome home. After 20 long years." We are at 21.97 gigabytes. Okay, let's see if we can find another story. What else is there? Cherry or the Frog Bride? Okay. I'm terrible at finding things. Nice if there was like page numbers on anything. Okay, Cherry or the Frog Bride. Okay. There once was a king who had 3 sons. Not far from his kingdom lived an old woman who had an only daughter called Cherry. The king sent his sons out to see the world, that they might learn the ways of foreign lands, and get wisdom and skill in ruling a kingdom that they were one day to have for their own. But the woman lived at peace at home with her daughter, who was called Cherry, because she liked cherries better than any other kind of food, and would eat scarcely anything else. Now her poor old mother had no garden, and no money to buy cherries every day for her daughter, and at last there was no other plan left but to go to a neighboring nunnery garden and beg the finest she could get from the nuns, for she dared not let her daughter go out by herself, as she was very pretty, and she feared some mischance might befall her. Cherry's taste, however, very well known, as it happened that the abbess was... Oh, the abbess. Like an abbot. Okay, cool. Was as fond as cherries was. We soon found out where all the best fruit went, and the Holy Mother was not a little angry at missing some of her stock and finding whither it had gone. The princess, while wandering on, came one day to the town where Cherry and the princes and her mother lived. And as they passed along the street, saw the fair maiden standing at the window, combing her long and beautiful locks of hair. Then each of the three fell deeply in love with her, and began to say how much he longed to have her for his wife. Scarcely had the wish been spoken, when all drew their swords, and a dreadful battle began. The fight lasted long, and their rage grew hotter and hotter, when at last the abbess, hearing the uproar, came to the gate. Finding that her neighbor was the cause, her old spite against her broke forth at once, and in her rage she wished Cherry turned into an ugly frog, and sitting in the water under the bridge at the world's end. No sooner had it done than poor Cherry became a frog, and vanished out of their sight. The princes had nothing to fight for now, so sheathing their swords again, they shook hands as brothers, and went on towards their father's home. The old king meanwhile found that he grew weak and ill-fitted for the business of reigning, so he thought of giving up his kingdom. But to whom should it be? This was a point that his fatherly heart could not settle, for he loved all his sons alike. "My dear children," said he, "I grow old and weak, and should like to give up my kingdom. But I cannot make up my mind which of you I shall choose for heir, for I love you all three. Love you all. That's a weird way to phrase that. Stop criticizing stuff written hundreds of years ago. Besides, I should wish to give my people the cleverest and best of you for king. However, I wished to give you 3 trials, and the one who wins the prize shall have the kingdom. The first is seek me out 100 ells of cloth, so fine that I can draw it through a golden ring." The sons said they would do their best, and set out on the search. The 2 eldest brothers took with them many followers, and coaches and horses of all kinds, to bring home all the beautiful cloths they could find. But the youngest went alone by himself. They soon came to roads, branched off in several ways. 2 ran through smiling meadows, with smooth paths and shady groves, while the third looked dreary and dirty, and went over barren wastes. The 2 eldest chose the pleasant ways, and the youngest took his leave and whistled along over the dreary road. Whenever fine linen was to be seen, the elder brothers bought it, and bought so much that their coaches and horses bent under their burden. The youngest, on the other hand, journeyed over many a weary day, and found not a place where he could buy even 1 piece of cloth. That was all fine and good. His heart sank beneath him, and every mile he grew more and more heavy and sorrowful. At last he came to a bridge over a stream, and there he sat down to rest and sigh over his bad luck, when an ugly-looking frog popped its head out of the water, and asked with a voice that had not at all harsh sound to his ears what was the matter. The prince said, in a pet, "Silly frog, thou canst not help me." "Who told you so?" said the frog. "Tell me what ails you." After a while the prince opened the whole story, and told why his father had sent him out. "I will help you," said the frog. So it jumped back into the stream, and soon came back dragging a small piece of linen, not bigger than one's hand, and by no means the cleanest in the world in its look. However, there it was, and the prince was told to take it with him. He had no great liking for such a dirty rag, but still there was something in the frog's speech that pleased him much, and he thought to himself, "It can do no harm. It is better than nothing." So he picked it up and put it in his pocket, and thanked the frog, who had dived down again, panting quite and tired, as it seemed, with its work. The farther he went, the heavier he found it to be his great joy in the pocket, and so he turned himself onward, trusting greatly in his good luck. He reached home nearly about the same time that his brothers came up, with their horses and coaches all heavily laden. Then the old king was very glad to see his children again, and he pulled the ring off his finger to try to see who had done their best. But in all the stock which the 2 eldest had brought, not 1 piece of cloth, 1/10 part of which would go through the ring. At this they were greatly abashed. "Ow, that hurt my ears. Killer instinct is installed." For they had made a laugh of their brother, who came home, as they thought, empty-handed. But how great was their anger when they saw him pull from his pocket a piece that, for softness and beauty and whiteness, was 1,000 times better than anything before they had ever seen. It was so fine that it passed through with ease the ring. Indeed, 2 such pieces would readily have gone in together. The father embraced the lucky youth and told his servants to throw the coarse linen in the sea, and said, "That's a huge fucking waste. I mean, people could use clothes. I mean, now you must set about the second task, which I am set to you. Bring me home a little dog, so small that it will lie in a nutshell." I think the old king's already lost his fucking mind. Not even like, remember Aragorn in Lord of the Rings when he's talking to the King Theoden? Aragorn's technically 87 years old at that point, so like Aragorn was already an old man by the time the King Theoden was a little boy. I guess living with the elves helps one stay young. I don't know. His sons were not a little frightened at such a task, but it all longed for the crown and made up their mind to go and try their hands. And so after a few days they set out once more on their travels. At the crossways they parted as before, and the youngest chose his dreary, rugged path, with all the bright hopes that his former good luck gave him. Scarcely had he set himself down by the bridge foot, when he and his old friend, the frog, jumped out, set itself beside him, and as before opened its big mouth wide, and croaked out, "What is the matter?" The prince had this time no doubt of the frog's power, and therefore told what he wanted. "It shall be done for you," said the frog, and springing in the stream it soon brought up a hazelnut, laid it at his feet, and told him to take it home to his father, and crack it gently, and then see what would happen. The prince went his way, very well pleased, and the frog, tired with its task, jumped back into the water. His brothers had reached home first, and brought with them a great many pretty little dogs. The old king, willing to help them all he could, sent for a large walnut shell, and tried it with every one of the little dogs, but one stuck fast with its hind foot out, another with its head, and a third one with its forefoot, and the fourth its tail. In short, some way or another, but none were all likely to sit easily within the new kind of kennel. When all had been tried, the youngest made his father a dutiful bow, and gave him the hazelnut, begging him to crack it very carefully. The moment this was done, out ran a beautiful little white dog upon the king's hand, wagged its tail, and fondled his new master, and soon turned about and barked at the other little beasts in the most graceful manner, to the delight of the whole court. The whole joy of everyone was great. The old king again embraced his lucky son, told his people to drown all of— What the fuck?! Told his people to drown all of the other dogs in the sea! I don't know if you guys can hear me just looking at a book with my mouth gaping open. Can you hear that? That's the sound of my fucking jaw hitting the ground. Dear sons, your weightiest tasks are now over. Listen to my last wish. Whoever brings home the fairest lady shall be at once the heir to my crown. The prize was so tempting, and the chance so fair for all, that none made any doubts about setting to work, each in his own way to try and be the winner. The youngest was not in such good spirits as he was the last time. He thought to himself, "The old frog has been able to do a great deal for me, but all its I am so concerned about what's going to happen. Like, everything gets thrown in the sea at this point, and now we're bringing people. It's like, oh no, the pizza's burnt. Drown all the citizens? What the fuck? It's like, oh no, this apple's spoiled. Drown the trees! Why am I imagining a cartoon of a tree drowning now? This is like we're listening to a PowerPoint presentation of a Family Guy sketch. Except Family Guy sketch is funny. I'm just me. Okay, back to the... what the fuck? I need more water. Everyone's like, Killer Instinct's downloaded. Why aren't you playing it? Because I want to finish the story! I mean, at least we're like, oh, there's going to be no more animal abuse. No, we're just going to drown people. Then again, it was like that. Oh, there was that one fairy tale where, a guy was just going back and forth talking to a girl, getting presents, and then he suffocated a goat, tied his wife-to-be to a stable, carved the eyes out of cows, and then pelted her in the face with them like fucking baseballs. With the eyeball, he literally took a knife, gouged eyeballs out of cows, and then threw the eyeballs of the cows into the face of his bride-to-be that he tied to a fucking stable, and he did all this after suffocating a goat. What the fuck? Everyone's like, maybe we should actually go back and re-listen to these grim fairy tales that he recorded. And I'm like, it's going to be more of this. It's just going to be me reading a story and just not being able to not commentate. And I'm like, I'm really trying. But seriously, like, oh, look at the cute little puppies. And then you fucking drowned them. Fuck you! I will say this, though. I haven't had a pet in a very long time. Maybe one day I'll get pets again. If I ever do, I'll get 2. That way since I spend a lot of time at work, that way they're not lonely when I'm gone. But either maybe like 2 dogs, or 2 cats, or 2 rabbits, so 2 little puppies, or 2 kitties, or 2 bunnies. But regardless of what type of animal I would get, I think I would name the 2 of them Lace and Iris. But I'm undecided. Like, would it be better to get puppies? And if so, what breed? Or cats? I assume just tabbies then. Bunnies? Are there different breeds of bunnies? Like, or is it just like generally when it comes to bunnies, there's like one breed of bunnies? Like, are there different breeds of bunnies that people get as pets? Or is it just like the one breed of bunny that's like people use as pets? I don't know. But like I said, I would name them Lace and Iris. And of course, before I would do such a thing, I would have to like make sure I know like everything I have to do. Like, because I mean, dogs, cats, and bunnies all have different personalities in terms of what they like. I mean, so like, I mean, I would want them to be happy. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever get pets again, but I don't know. Having a little fuzzy bunny to play with, and I don't know if I could put a leash on a bunny and take it for a walk. Is that a thing a bunny would like? Like I said, I feel like I would have to do a lot of research before I would, because it's a living thing, so you have to that takes a lot of research and preparation. Besides, I think I probably work too much. Even with me getting 2 so they're not alone, I mean, still I'd be gone most of the day. So, I'll keep it in mind, but I'd say for now, I just don't think it'd be very fair to the bunnies. Besides, I just don't think I really would have enough money to properly make sure they have everything they need. I'm just saying, if I had bunnies, I'd want to spoil them. I'd want to make sure they have everything they could have, to be happy. Plus, I just want to be able to sit and play with them. It's like Lunar D8's not even making videos anymore. He just spends all his day playing with his bunnies. Okay, where was I? But all its power must be nothing to me now. For where should it find me a fair maiden? Still less a fairer maiden than was ever seen at my father's court. The swamps where it lives have no living things in them, but toads, snakes, and such vermin. Meantime he went on and sighed as he sat down with a heavy heart by the bridge. Ah, frog, said he, this time thou canst do me no good. Never mind, croaked the frog, only tell me what is the matter now. Then the prince told, and that's the thing, sometimes even if somebody can't help you with anything, sometimes it's just nice to be able to talk about, your problems or whatever's on your mind. And oh my god, I just looked at something. The achievements for Killer Instinct. I have 26 achievements out of 463. How can there be 463 things to do in the game? Okay, don't get distracted. What was I even talking about? I don't know. I forgot what we're talking about. Never mind. Oh yeah, sometimes it's just nice. Like, granted, yes, it's always better to be able to, like, if you have a problem, if there's a way to actually fix the problem, that's good. But sometimes you just want someone just to listen to. Like, I mean, yeah, if there's a way to fix it, you want to know it too. But even if they can fix it, I mean, you still want to feel like your emotions are validated and that somebody actually cares about you. So, especially if it can't be fixed, and at least, you know, the person understands you better, and it's at least a bonding experience, but you at least know that person cares about you and they value your, you know, thoughts and feelings. But of course, you know, usually listening is the first step in being able to actually fix problems in life. But sometimes you just want someone to talk to. You just want someone to listen. You just want someone to care. Okay, where was I? Only tell me what is the matter now. Then the prince told his old friend that the trouble had now come upon him. Go thy way home, said the frog. The fair maiden will follow hard after. But take care and do not laugh at whatever may happen. Okay. This said, it sprang as before into the water and was soon out of sight. The prince still sighed on, for he trusted very little this time to the frog's word. But he had not sat many steps forward to heard a noise behind him, and looked round, saw 6 large water rats dragging a large pumpkin-like coach full trot, and on the box sat an old fat toad as coachman, and behind stood 2 little frogs as footmen, and 2 fine mice with stately whiskers ran before as outriders. Within sat his old friend the frog, rather misshapen and unseemly to be sure. So what? The frog is like metamorphosizing into a butterfly princess in the giant pumpkin that is literally a metapod. We're beating people to death with metapods now. Oh, that's so gross. It's like, oh, butterflies are pretty. Yes! I mean, I think Gabriel Iglesias put it in a much nicer way. He's like, tacos fall apart all the time, and we still love tacos. As opposed to, yes, a caterpillar turns into a beautiful butterfly. But, you know, in order for the body to, like, transform like that, the whole time it's inside the cocoon, you know, most of its body's liquefied and turned into, like, horrifying sci-fi monster bullshit. You know, because its body has to, like, break down into, like, fucking eldritch horror in order to actually change. It's the same way, like, oh, how do you make a good sword? You put it in the fucking fire and you hit it with a hammer. If you don't put it in the fire and hit it with a hammer, the sword doesn't get stronger or sharp. But of course, if you put it in the fire too long or too hot or hit it too much or too hard with the hammer, you completely fucking break it. Hell, that also works with human beings. Some amount of slight hardship will help make someone stronger. Too much will make them go into psychotic break. Or, you know, just die from, you know. Human organs are sensitive, okay? Heck. How many of you out there, like, feel stressed sometimes or just don't sleep very well? It has an effect on your health. But physically or emotionally or psychologically, you know, if you have a completely easy life and everything's just done for you, that, you know, it doesn't help you be a better person, but you definitely need much more good than bad. Way too much bad will break you physically, emotionally, and psychologically. It's like, what's the moral of the story? I don't know. I'm tired. I need a nap. It's like, we haven't even played Killer Instinct. I keep getting distracted. We're going to, like, turn it on, and I'm like, I've had, like, a freaking delusion at this point where I'm playing Yamcha. Yamcha and Killer. Oh, yes, we need that. Yamcha and Killer Instinct. That'd be awesome. Okay, that might be, like, a little overpowered. Who would be... I still say Krona from Soul Eater, Felicia from Darkstalkers, Jack Hanma from Baki the Grappler, and Hercule from Dragon Ball Z should be in Street Fighter 6 as full-fledged characters. Heck, Krona should actually be in a relationship with Cammy. But, for Killer Instinct, Yajirobe? I say Yajirobe. Who else? Oolong? I don't know. Ox King? I still say, what if Ox King is actually descended from King Yama? Then that means Gohan is descended from King Yama. Okay, where was I? But still somewhat of a graceful air as it bowed to him in passing, much too deeply wrapped in thought as to his chance of finding the fair lady whom he was seeking, taking any heed of the strange scene before him. The prince scarcely looked at it and still had less mind to laugh. The coach passed on a little way, and soon turned a corner that hid it from his sight. How astonished was he on turning the corner, and found himself a handsome coach, and 6 black horses was there, with a coachman in a grey livery, and within the most beautiful lady he had ever seen, whom he soon knew to be the fair Cherry, for whom his heart had so long ago panted. As he came up, the servants opened the coach door, and he was allowed to seat himself by the beautiful lady. They soon came to his father's city, where his brothers also came, with trains of... So they didn't just bring one woman each. They brought entire... They each brought their own harem anime. Now, granted, to be fair, like, you know, Washu, Mihoshi, Ryoko, like... Who doesn't enjoy Tenchi Muyo? But yeah, like I said, Washu, Ryoko, Ayaka, Mihoshi. What can I say? There's a lot of very pretty women in anime. But yeah, they like literally became like they became anime protagonists. They brought their own harems of like sexy anime girls. Okay. They soon came to the father's city, where his brothers also came with trains of fair ladies. But as soon as Cherry was seen, all the court gave her with one voice the crown of beauty. Okay. The delighted father embraced his son, and named him the heir to his crown, and ordered all of the other ladies to be thrown like the little dogs into the sea and drowned. Then the prince married Cherry, and lived long and happily with her, and indeed lives with her still if he be not dead. Okay, first off, this isn't even me making a comment. This is the literal word for word. I'm going to read this last paragraph word for word, and I'm not going to insert any words. Okay, start quotation. They soon came to his father's city, where his brothers also came with trains of fair ladies. But as soon as Cherry was seen, all the court gave her, with one voice, the crown of beauty. The delighted father embraced his son, and named him heir to the crown, and ordered all of the other ladies to be thrown like the little dogs into the sea and drowned. Then the prince married Cherry, and lived long and happily with her, and indeed lives with her still, if he be not dead. End quote. Now for my little ad-lib. And they lived for thousands of years on the sea full of dead animals and people. What was this written? I can't remember how to pronounce his name, like Mayuri or something. He was an amazing artist who wrote Berserk, and of course he died of a heart attack a few years ago. But was this written by the author of Berserk? What the fuck? Like, it was one thing, like, okay, you threw all the clothes in the water, and I'm like, people could have used that. This is a time where, you know, making clothing is, it's not like you can just go to Walmart and there's, like, thousands of tons of pounds of it there. Like, no, that stuff's rare and hard to come by, and this is, like, literally the finest quality, the princes of a land could find. And it's like, there are literally people naked and freezing to death. And then you had all these like, oh, they got the cute little puppies. And then you drowned hundreds of cute little puppies. And then you literally got like 100 of the most beautiful women in the world. And then you drowned them. Like, you're just taking people and drowning them. Like, why were you king to begin with? What kind of leader just, like, oh, what's my solution to this? Drown them. Sir, your toaster strudel did not turn out well. Drown the toaster in the bathtub. Seriously, what the fuck? Seriously. Let's play a fighting game now. Because... What? This is so fucking loud! Ah! I'm fucking going deaf here! Can I please get to an options menu? Everyone's like, can we at least see it? If I can find the mouse cursor! Everyone's like, you don't need to scream. I'm like, you won't be able to hear me if I don't! There, you can see it! You're like, are you gonna change the sizing? I can't without stopping the video! Why is the volume so loud? I want the options menu, for fuck's sake! Everyone's like, you can just take off the headphones! I'm like, no! We're all in this together! We're in the loud fucking loading screen! Okay! Can you load faster? Move faster, Pokey! Did it crash? Are we frozen? Is nothing working? Where is the mouse? Oh, God! Where are the settings? Where is the vault music? Ah! This is the lowest setting that isn't mute? What is the difference? The fuck is this? Okay. Hello?
Why can't I pick from the other characters? We'll play as Ice and Fireman. First, Iceman. Glacius. Minecraftius. It's just armor with freezer burn. Look at my circulatory system. Okay, why is all this locked? Okay, I can pick through 2. Okay. Which one looks cooler? I mean, this one looks like he's actually made of ice. Why didn't... What is occurring? The fuck is happening? Why does he look like he's lagging? Honor-driven Glacius has returned to Earth as protector. To safeguard against the misuse of technology he was forced to leave behind after his last journey. His ship power core is stolen. Glacius is determined to find the thief and undo the damage done by his abandoned tech. Versus Jago. Hey, it's Yamcha! Hi, Yamcha! I'm gonna stab you with ice. Why is there Gregorian chants? Fuck your, like, Hadoken thing, man. Shoryuken! Ow! He actually did a Hadoken! You dick! That's not even the right franchise! I stab you! Stab you with ice! I kill you! I kill you! Oh. Ah! I forgot how much that's awesome to hear they announce. Stop shooting Iceman with fire! Ow! This is what the fuck, you're Shoryuken! You're not Ryu! Hello? Oh, he's dead. I'm tall! Fuck you! Stop that! This is round 1! This is supposed to be the easiest! What is this music in the background? Why did I become a Lego? Ha! I dodged it, bitch! Ow! Stop! Ow! Fucking hurts, bitch! Ow! My liver! Ow, that was my kidney. I don't know how to do anything. This is what happens when you go like a year or something without playing a game. I think I did like 6 parts in a Let's Play of this game. Hopefully this is set to the easiest difficulty. I have no idea. I should check things. I don't know if I can alter the difficulty. Who am I fighting? Is it something from the Kingdoms of Amalur game? Like Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur? remember that being a pretty good game. Though I think that company that made it, like, collapsed. Ow! This is round 2, man. I've been dead 4 punches ago. Hello? Absorb hits with glacius ice armor while in instinct mode. I used Ultra Instinct! Yay! Hello? You dick. We'll try one more time. Dude! Stop blocking! Ow! I may be ice, but I'm pretty sure I have ribs through my fucking translucent flesh. Ow. I feel like I'm not going to get a full win on this guy's arcade mode. Okay, who am I fighting next? This...
Bow before the herald of Gargus.
Why is he using hacks? It's uppercutting your balls, man! Stop! Insane! You should have read the fucking stories from earlier! These graphics are pretty awesome. Ow! I gotta unlock color for glacius! Yay! Do ow, 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 ow. Tomahawks hurt. What the fuck is this? You can't use fatalities, it's not Mortal Kombat. Okay, I feel like I've hit you a lot more than you hit me. Why am I almost dead? What the fuck? Why is it storming so much? Ow! What difficulty is this even on?
I would not want to be you today.
That was cool. What? Yay! How many more fights? 2, it appears, I guess. I'm now fighting... I don't know. Spider Lady. Okay. What language are we speaking? I assume it's Japanese. I got complete 3 trials. Yay! Ow, you're punching me a lot. Now it's in slow-mo. Ow. This is bad. Fuck. still standing! $69. I will just do this. Stop kicking my ass. Stop punching my soul! Stop! Nope, 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 no for that, no, stop that! Fuck.
Job real gern pie.
You're not even the final form! Match, whatever. Why do you do so much more damage than me? How are you blocking being stabbed by icicles? Stop! No! Fuck, 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 fuck!
Job real gern pie.
I feel like this is a bad start to the fight. Looked at the combos. Let's see if it works any better now. I'm already dead. I feel like I was doing a better job when I was button mashing.
Job real gurn pie.
This feels unreasonable. Also, I know that the file size playing this game is probably going to be big, so I need to end the video at some point, otherwise I'm going to run out of space on my computer. And OBS will not like that.
Gurn pie.
So you know what? I do want to at least play one more character. We'll play the fire guy too.
After 10 years in Special Forces, Ben Ferris decided it was time for a raise. So he went where the money is, corporate espionage. The only thing bigger than his ego was his talent. And before long, he landed a contract on the world's most powerful company. That's when Ben finally met his better. Arya destroyed Ben's frail body, but even she could see that his skills were valuable. Ben was submitted to an experimental program called Project Cinder. Using alien DNA, Ben's genetic code was altered permanently, turning him into a being of pure, uncontrollable plasma energy. Arya constructed a suit that allows Ben to control his power and unleash it at will. Ultratech has improved on perfection, making Ben better in every way, and working for Arya allows him to show off his skills to the whole world.
Okay. This is round one! But yeah, I do have a Let's Play of Killer Instinct. You are round one!
That was too much fun!
What is this? Save Earth from the force of Gargos. I don't know, should I ever do that? Let me know in comments. Okay, so why can't I see a picture of that actually?
Glacius. Thunder. Shadow. Satira. Orchid. Spinal. Fulcor. Aria.
Skyrim?
Evolve or die. Make your choice.
Nope.
That looks boring.
I'm crashing this party.
Okay. We can call that a video. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Somehow this was 2 hours. Bye.